All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to THS Wrestling. This week in wrestling. I should probably start saying that because it is in big, bold, yellow lettering there. Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, Instagram.com/THS.Wrestling, and over at YouTube, just search that hashtag show. Subscribe there, and you can see us live there as well. I already see have some people from YouTube. We got Matt from Facebook. What's up, guys? We're going to be talking about the Great American Bash and Fyter Fest. Just drop your favorite matches from this past week in the comments. We'll talk about them. I am John. I am joined with Neeson. Neeson, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. And we are also joined by Jimmy. Jimmy, hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, gents. Good to be back as usual.
Yeah. So
sun's out, guns out, right, Jimmy?
Oh yeah.
You guys, it's nobody wants to see it. It's already kind of glary back here. If that'd be the end of it. It would just be completely just the sun would. You can see right there.
I was gonna say, did we white balance the camera?
Right.
No, we would need to. I would just throw it out the window. I don't know. But guys, before we start talking about anything. The three of us are very well aware that there are spoilers for this coming week's Great American Bash and Fyter Fest out there, and I just want to let the chat know we are not going to be addressing any of that stuff today, and we would appreciate it if you did not comment on it at all in the comments, because we are trying to stay spoiler-free. Spoilers are fun, but in this instance, the three of us do not want to be spoiled on anything, and your fellow people in the chat may not want to be spoiled on events that have not occurred on television yet. I generally hate spoilers for wrestling. I think it really ruins a lot of stuff. It ruins a lot of surprises. I'm fine with rumors and news about stuff, but spoilers, I don't really care for. I think it takes away a little bit of stuff from the event. And I also don't watch taped sports, so it's kind of just, I don't know. I think it's just a preference. I think it's preferential, from person to person. Some people love spoilers. I do not, especially when we have big events coming up here. What do you guys have to say about the spoilers?
If you spoil something, I will light your feet on fire.
Oh.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of spoilers unless I want to be spoiled, but when it's something just pops up and I had no idea it was going to happen, like I give a lot of people shit, like if they're posting something on Facebook, oh man, I can't believe this happened, even if it's non-wrestling related. Like, even if it's something that I don't watch, I'm like, yeah, if I watch this, I would be really pissed at you. So I suggest you take it down now so you don't have more people flipping out on you.
Matt, we may have had an off-air conversation about that. Thank you, Matt. That's very funny. Yes, Thomas, that means you. Not that Thomas, not Thomas Wright. Don't say you're fine, Thomas Wright. Other Thomas. Those spoilers will get you kicked out real quick. Diamond Dallas Page is still alive, yes.
Spoiler!
Spoiler, he's still alive. All right, so we're going to move on to the Great American Bash and Fyter Fest from this past week. Two events going head-to-head with one another. NXT, love that logo. That's a great logo. And Fyter Fest, there you go. Not so much.
Well, that's the thing is like that was, those documentaries on Fyter Fest last year were relevant. And now that it's, old news, Fyter Fest is like no longer funny. So.
Yeah. They didn't really delve into it again like they did last year, where I think they showed catering and then they did something with like Blink 182 was going to be there. And it ended up not being them or something. I can't remember. But anyway, I thought both shows were they were both very good, but we're here to pit the shows against each other. I guess west.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Wow, that was a little weird. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Johnny's internet backed out, but yes, we are here to put, like you said, we are here to put the shows against each other, like he said. And with that said, we're going against First of all, did you watch Great American Bash or Fyter Fest? Which one? Bash. Which one did you watch live?
I watched. I have a tendency to watch NXT live. Live in general, and then I watch Dynamite during the West Coast airing. So it as someone who lives on the West Coast, it's so much easier to do that way. And I'm not like up late, but yeah, I watched NXT Great American Bash first before Fyter Fest.
Interesting. Okay, well, it says, let me see. It says he's back, but he just audio is back. Pingle.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. He has some
technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties. All right, so let's talk about American Bash first. Then we start off with American Bash. We opened up with a fatal 4-way elimination match that the winner got to see the NXT Women's Champion. Pingle is back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's tag him in as we start talking about the Great American Bash.
You're killing me, podcasting setup. What is going on?
We just was talking about, we're just starting to get into the 4-way match, the elimination match for the number 1 contendership of the women's title. Literally just said it. So take it away, Pingle.
That match was such a great way to start off the show. I think I had commented to you, Neeson, that I thought that it looked like Mia Yim was moving a lot faster than I had I was wondering if she had been injured before, but during this match, holy moly, this match was such a great way to start off the show. I think we by Dakota pinning. Dakota being pinned by Tegan, where I think we kind of pushed that away to the side. We're done with that issue. We can move on, and Tegan's the number 1 contender. This match was it was such a great way to start off the show. And that's really love this match.
Jimmy?
Yeah. I mean, it's no surprise or it's no secret that Neeson, you and I are biased with the outcome of this match. So I'm very satisfied. I know Neeson's very satisfied with the outcome of Tegan now being the number 1 contender for the women's championship. Overall, I think this match is great, and I think that Candice going out first was good in the sense that it plays better to her new heel persona, because now it's like, with her being eliminated first, she could say everyone ganged up against her, and now she could use that going into her now feud with Mia Yim. Well, continued feud with Mia Yim. And then, as you said, with Dakota being eliminated by Tegan for the end of the match, you're just like, you're basically continuing one feud and ending another as Tegan goes to the championship match.
Now in the chat, Matthew says Mia should have won in his opinion. I think any one of these women could have won, and I would have been fine with it. I mean, Tegan winning is great. Well, I mean, I think a feud with any one-on-one match with Io Shirai would have been great for any one of these women.
The person that won was supposed to win at the end of the day, and that was Tegan effing Knox. I get it. Mia Yim showed her thing. I get it. Candice LeRae is now a evil pixie fairy. I get it that Team Kick now wears 2 knee braces like Stone Cold and probably only really needs 1. I get it that Mia Yim looks faster now that she's not in a ring with Charlotte Flair. I understand these things. But Tegan effing Knox, ladies and gentlemen, was supposed to win and won because she is, I mean, look, I would have called her the draw if Sasha Banks didn't take that moniker already. But she is the NXT draw to me, ladies and gentlemen. Like, she is the person that I want to tune in every week. Did you see the facial expressions? Did you see what Lady Kane, like?
She's great.
Phenomenal. The little facial expressions when Dakota Kai kicked out of both a double pin and she was laying in the corner like, oh, like Mia Yim didn't have a reaction, but Tegan F. Knox had a reaction. You see, Tegan F. Knox versus Io Shirai is a main event, and it looks like, and hopefully it's the main event against the now third night of Fyter Fest, which they added because Moxley now is Brian Cage on the third night. And so they're going to counter program it. But I understand everybody's opinion about Mia Yim. She looked amazing in that match. And that is one thing that we have to shine on Charlotte. People don't have their best matches with Charlotte, in my opinion, because it's a different type of style. She really works a different style. Sasha's able to conform to everybody else's style. Charlotte's really not. Everybody has to work Charlotte's style. But Tegan versus Io Shirai is going to be a main event. And I will be, if I got to fly, I may have to fly down to Florida. I just may have to fly down to Florida for a taping, sit there with a mask on and a whole hazmat suit just to sit there and watch Lady Kane chokeslam Io Shirai and hold up that NXT Women's Championship.
Oh, Kevin Dunn won't let you through the door with that hazmat suit.
This is right. This is true. very, very true, because he feels that he wants aesthetically pleasing people on camera. That's why he's not. Continue.
Up next after that, we had Timothy Thatcher and Oney Lorcan. This match, it was a as we call it on hashtag wrestling Twitter, a grapple fuck match. That's for sure. A lot of grappling going on here. I can't believe Timothy Thatcher's in WWE.
That pretty much was a PWG match, more or less.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it was, absolutely.
I really enjoyed this match. It was very different than everything else we saw on the card. And I love that Oney Lorcan is just on Twitter, just screaming, and he basically just gets what he wants every time he screams on Twitter for it. I want Timothy Thatcher, or I'll just beat the shit out of everybody. And they went, okay, here you go. I thought this was a nice little match. Thatcher winning, made sense. And that's pretty much all I got for that one.
This match scared me because, scared probably is the wrong word, but I was worried of watching this match that if this was I want to see a takeover crowd react to a match like this.
Yeah.
We still haven't had a catcher's catch style match, grapplers match in front of a takeover crowd, like a full one. And I feel like I love the fact of Trips and the NXT team continues to throw everything at the board at NXT to see what fits. It's just that we get during this time, one, we're not getting a real crowd reaction from it. Two, we can only get what the internet says. So we're not getting that instant, I wouldn't say gratification, but just that instant reaction, that instant poll, if you will. And so I would love to see how it feels within a setting of a takeover match with 10 to 15,000 people, if we could ever get back to that. But just to see the roller coaster of the match, because I could watch these matches, with no sound, but I want to get the feel of a real story being told, because I want them to work. I want them to continue to actually do these matches on a main stage and not just have an excuse that, oh, we tried these things and it didn't work because Pingu's computer is not really messing with us today. That's what's going on. Yeah. What do you think about that, Jimmy?
Like you said, I feel like, the normal Full Sail crowd would have been really into this match. They're pretty much into everything, but this match especially because, like you said, we don't really see these matches too often. And if we do see it, they'll probably throw it on 205 Live, where the live audience is already minuscule and not familiar with the talent.
Right.
And it's just weird because I would have never thought that a Timothy Thatcher push in NXT in mid-2000 would be something I'd be seeing. If you told me that at the end of last year or the middle of last year, I'd be like, what? Thatcher getting a push? Beating Matt Riddle? Having his own crazy, vignettes? I would have never thought that.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. And to see it, like Pingo said, to see him on our television, it's such a, it's a crazy, yet it's welcoming, and you can see him replacing Matt Riddle, but they're giving him they're going full in on the catcher's catch can grappler type style with Timothy Thatcher, and I'm all in for it.
Yeah, and I'm also really glad that they decided to just throw the whole thing with Imperium in our face right away.
Mhm.
So, like, any of us who are fans of Timothy Thatcher beforehand could push away the thoughts of, oh, maybe he's going to join Imperium, aka Ringkampf, since he was part of that group with Marcel Bartel and Walter in the Indies. But with him being pushed away from that feud, doing his own thing, it's like, now that's not even in my wherewithal to even think it's happening now, like anywhere in the near future.
Yeah, that was smart. It's kind of like you push it in forward, and then now it's behind people's heads, and now you can move on to the stories that you really want to tell instead of everybody like, tell this story. What about this story? So smart on Trips.
All right, guys. If it happens one more time, I think I might just be the end for me.
All right, it's like 100 degrees out here in the valley.
And it's smoky as hell. Thanks, everybody.
Fireworks.
Yeah, thanks to everyone setting off fireworks, because that shit didn't stop till 2 p.m. or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I'm not a pet owner, nor do I have PTSD. But obviously, the people setting the fireworks off don't give a shit about those people.
They really don't.
No, they don't.
It was going on to 4 a.m. But hey, that's
LA.
That's LA. But I guess next is the Rhea Ripley handicap match versus Rhea Ripley versus Robert Stone and Aaliyah.
I mean, the only real thing I have to say about this is who did Rhea Ripley fall out of favor with?
I feel like that's happening a lot lately, where it seems like all these people who are getting pushes, pre-WrestleMania and maybe right after WrestleMania, all of their pushes are just dying off. And it's just weird to see the ones who are like, so in the spotlight, just getting the spotlight is being turned to other people.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into two more people. I purposely left Rhea off of that list at the end, where we're going to talk about some people, if my computer doesn't explode or whatever is going on. But yeah, it's just very strange because I'm back. Back again. We'll see how long it lasts. But it's just very strange that Rhea seemed to be like on top of the world. And then there was her visa was up or something. Nobody really knows. And she ended up losing to Charlotte, and then Charlotte's gone now. It seemed like all for naught, because Charlotte is now gone until the end of the year. It's been all downhill for her since Mania. It's just very strange, because they seemed really, really high on her. Then she loses at Mania, which is fine. But then after that, it's like, I'm going to fight a manager. I know he's a wrestler, but in WWE he's a manager. That's all they've really used him for. It just seems really weird. Oh, and if I lose, I'm going to be a part of their little group. I don't know. It just seems like not a great use for her. I feel like they could have couldn't oh my goodness, couldn't Chelsea Green have been in this spot where if you lose to Aaliyah, you have to rejoin me? Or I don't know. Any other thing would have been more interesting than, I think, just putting Rhea in a match to have her be in a match.
Yeah, you could have said Chelsea Green, but I think there's something there. She probably doesn't want to work during this pandemic.
Oh yeah.
So that's why they kind of wrote her off. And then, but with Rhea, they I don't want to say they destroyed her, but this was definitely okay, we're going to try to rebuild you where you could beat a man and a woman at the same time. But the problem is, we don't care about these people. Like, we don't care about Robert Stone. We don't care about Aaliyah. So for you to want to drive that in and force it down our throats, quote unquote, to use that old saying, it didn't work. And it's not working. And you took somebody that did have the hottest run. Just gonna bring Johnny in here real quick as I continue. So as we have this run, we have this hot run going from Survivor Series.
Yes.
You think Survivor Series and Takeover War Games. Rhea was on a hot run from November to Mania. You have her lose at Mania, which I understood because then you could have Charlotte on NXT, and then that feud should have continued on NXT. But not only did she lose, she disappeared for a while, and it was unexplained. And then now you basically lose Charlotte, put put Rhea Ripley back in. Like that doesn't. It just doesn't make sense to me. And so I get when people say, yeah, things fall off. And I understand like moving parts and stories and all these other things. We'll get to all that and talk about it later. But during this time, it's real tricky because I think this is when we really miss the fan interaction. They're just going by ratings.
Right.
And you see that, okay, Sasha's pulling ratings. So Sasha is going to be on every single show. Rhea's not holding up ratings. We may not be able to use her. Because that's the only thing they could go by. They can't go by crowd reaction.
Yeah.
They can't go by. We don't know if this person is getting over because they only look at ratings. But they got to understand that equity was built within Sasha. Equity was built within Charlotte. Equity was built within all these others. And you need to build equity within Rhea Ripley instead of building her up to the highest you can and then just tearing her down with nothing. Like, she didn't fall on anything. She literally fell on nothing. Robert Stone and Aaliyah are nothing. No offense.
No offense to those two.
Yeah.
Hi, Johnny.
The fans. Hey, what's up, everybody?
How are you?
Johnny? Terrible night.
Oh no. Okay. Well, we'll try and help you out here.
I got a story for y'all later.
Oh boy. Unless my computer explodes. I've been disconnected twice, but we won't get into that again.
Hey, Tim. We're not talking about that.
We aren't, but I have a theory and maybe. That's all I'll say to you.
Yeah.
We won't highlight your comment, but I will say maybe because I do. Well, we will highlight your comment. That's my theory, Timothy. I work for a production company and that they do that. So we'll see. But that's all we'll say about it. That's all we'll say. No one else say anything or you're automatically out of the chat. I'm sorry. But it's true. That's what's going to happen.
Lay down the law.
We laid it down at the beginning. Up next, we had a strap match between Dexter Loomis and Roderick Strong. This was a match. Really, all I have to say about it. It was fine. I think if this technically is Loomis's first big feud, and it feels like I don't want to see him for being featured mainly for the first time in a gimmick match. They did that with Wardlow, and I was like, I don't know about Wardlow, and now I fucking love Wardlow. Now that I've seen him wrestle in regular matches,
Really?
I think he's great, and I would love to see that with Loomis. I didn't really see he was in Impact. I didn't really see a lot of his Impact stuff, so I can't really speak to that. But that's just where I'm coming from here. I thought it was okay, and that's pretty much about all I have to say about this strap match. What say you guys?
I think it was just okay too. And growing up watching strap matches, I always was intrigued by them, but now that I'm, much older, the concept of it is really weird, especially with the fact that you could theoretically take the strap off at any time, but there's no enforcement on it. If you take the strap off, you lose the match or anything like that. Now right. I know in kayfabe, everything is supposed to be, as is, just don't question it. But this is one of the things I still question with strap matches.
He was Samuel Shaw in Impact, Matthew. That's who he was.
I'm low-key the same way as Jimmy. What's up, everybody? Good to be here. What's up, everybody? Chat. Low-key, this match is kind of eh. The thing about it is, though, is that, felt like, Dexter was low-key wrestling himself at some points. Joking, but, Roddy's there or whatever. But the thing about it was just kind of eh. It wasn't really exciting for me. I like Dexter's character, and I like what they're trying to do with him. But, this match was just kind of whatever. And it's I don't know. It was almost skippable to a certain degree for me.
I mean, if we don't have anything left to say, we're going to probably spend about 15 minutes on this next match here. Main event time, Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks. Sasha paying tribute to, I hope, the Stinger with her red, white, and blue Great American Bat. Sasha's look, that's given the look to this match, because we're going to get into it after we talk about Fyter Fest. But I think, I think this was my favorite match of the week.
By
Holy
far.
moly. This match was amazing. It was great to see Sasha not only in a main event, but against someone that is as great as Io Shirai is. This match was fantastic. I thought the ending was pretty fun as well, with Asuka just randomly showing up. I really enjoyed the whole belt taking away thing and the mist.
John, I feel like you're burying the lead here.
What?
You didn't talk about the biggest thing in this match.
Well, I don't want to take away from anybody else talking about the entrance of Sasha Banks.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about
Ryu debut?
Ryu might be a mixed appearance.
Like, he's the star now. I'm waiting for him to get matches start going now. Like, Ryu's on the roster. Like, it's a big deal.
It's what a fantastic entrance. Bailey with the Uncle Sam hat and the chalk line jacket and the belts. I was really enjoying overly annoying Bailey on the outside during this match. I thought that was a lot of fun, but all the in-ring action was amazing. This match was top notch for sure. It'll definitely, as of now, is in my top 10 of matches for the year.
Yeah. For me, there's two main takeaways about this match. Number one, it was a huge Rey Mysterio fan against a huge Eddie Guerrero fan.
Yes.
And you definitely saw elements of that during this match with style and with exact moves. And number two, this is what happens when you give Sasha Banks a great opponent and time. Unlike Raw, unlike SmackDown, we got to see the Sasha of old. We got to see NXT Sasha wrestle the way that we know she can wrestle, but haven't been able to see her wrestle because she's been on Raw and SmackDown. So I'm glad we got to see that old Sasha back in the ring.
I'm gonna let Nisa get the last word because it's Sasha Banks, so Nisa needs the last word. But I'm just gonna say, this match was it was fire. I loved it. From the entrance, the moment I saw Ryu in the whip, they came out the drop top like she was back during her takeover match or whatever against Bailey. I was like, oh shit, it is going down. And then it was getting the match was amazing, as Jimmy pointed out, move for move. Again, seeing Io pay homage to Rey Mysterio, Sasha Banks, I would say Eddie Guerrero. It was a great physical match. And honestly, Bailey, I gotta be real. I didn't like Bailey at the beginning of her heel turn, and I would say for about 95% of it. But for this match, I was like, oh shit, good job, Bailey. Bailey's learning how to be a decent asshole as of late. So she's really getting to her heel gimmick. And so honestly, all in all, I was loving this. Plus, again, at the end, seeing Asuka come out, seeing Asuka and Io in the ring, both belts on them and shit like that. It's Japanese excellence in this bitch. I gotta give a lot of shout out. It was really dope to see. So good match, and I'm happy for it.
Neeson, the floor is yours.
This is mine.
Yeah.
It is.
I was watching this match. How I was watching this match sums this up. This is it. I just can't. This is how I was watching. I was watching the best women in the world go at it at the best wrestling of the night, hands down. Now, Bailey, I had this epiphany watching SmackDown after NXT on Friday. And Bailey, if I was a 9-10-year-old kid, I would hate Bailey. I would hate her. I would literally, every time she comes on screen, I would get mad. I would ask my parents why she's there. Why is she a bad person? I will be upset. And then it made me think, wow, she is doing an incredible job at being hated. Because it's the little things. It's the little things that she's doing. She's wearing the American hats. That is just terrible looking. She's going off. And when she comes in, her swagger, but her energy and just the aura that she possesses is very Karen irritating, right? But she knows it. She knows it and she leans into it heavier and heavier, and I love it. But now we're going to talk about the boss, the blueprint, the standard, the draw, the GOAT, the landlord. Rent is due. We're talking about Sasha F. Banks, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think I wore blue today? Because I want to represent the blueprint. And she just laid it out for you, page by page by page. She is building the highest tower that is on this side of the Mississippi, ladies and gentlemen. How many floors? We don't know. It's probably going to never end. It's probably going to be just an infinity amount of floors. But she's showing you the blueprint of how to do it. That's what she's doing. She's calling herself Sasha 3 Shows.
Sasha 3 Shows.
Showing you. It's not even, let's say it's not even a tower. This is an infrastructure of multiple towers, of a whole corporate landscape of just multi-downtown building that she's doing, because why? She is the blueprint. And that match from head to toe, you mentioned it, Jimmy. It was Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Matter of fact, she almost killed herself when she got dropped on her head. Not gonna say that. Like, I was scared. My heart jumped. It stopped. It did all the things I was gonna call. I didn't have to remember. It was pre-taped. So I was like, oh, she's fine. If something would have happened, we would have heard about it. But Sasha Banks just proved that she is the most valuable female wrestler in WWE. Like, she's able to give people their best matches. I don't want to hear about Charlotte. I don't want to hear about Becky. I don't want to hear about Bayley. I don't want to hear about Asuka. I don't want to hear about any other person, because she's literally giving everybody their best matches, hands down. And like I said earlier, it's because, one, her body is like made of rubber. She literally must be
it's not right.
Forever elastic. Like, the way she's able to sell is by far the best. Literally, she reminds me of Dolph Ziggler. When Dolph Ziggler when he's really has his teeth in something, the way he sells, nobody's touching it. Nobody. And so with that, and I mean, I could go back to The Rock, and that's why I made the Sasha Rock comparisons a while ago. And that's why I was like, that's why she's really that, because she's able to sell and entertain at the same time. But yeah, man, this match to me, it proved that you have gold on your hands. But what I did like is that they acknowledged that Asuka and Io Shirai was killing as a tag team over in Japan. And I love the story that they're telling. And Asuka popping up and doing the mist spray. And then the little things about Sasha laying on her stomach when she took that moonsault to cover her face from the ref of the mist spray. And then when they covered her, Io covered her face with her leg. Like, these are little things to tell the story about the mist spray. Because if the ref sees it, it has to be disqualified. But it put Io over and Sasha even more over. And all I want to say is that if they are really building, because I know the word is that they don't want to have Sasha Bayley fall out with no crowd. Look, the amount of storytelling they're putting on this story, this 5-year basically story that they're building, is it's bigger than Mega Powers Explode. I can't imagine a kid. Like, imagine being a kid and like seeing this story and wanting like the shoe to drop, wanting the shoe to drop, and all the things, like how I was watching a Mega Powers Explode that was only a year long. We're watching a 5-year-long story be told, guys. And I'm gonna end it with this. Sasha Banks is the GOAT, the blueprint, the standard, the boss, and the draw, because NXT had the highest rating. They didn't have it in 18 and 49, but who cares about that? Overall, they had it in the highest rating, and it was due to that match, because it was able to retain the highest number compared to Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page's match against Best Friends. So
don't throw the yawn up to that man. I will say, if this is the Mega Power story, does that make Ryu Miss Elizabeth?
It does make me I am Miss Elizabeth, and well, yeah, I am Miss Elizabeth. No, because Bayley will probably be Macho Man and Sasha will be Hogan. Hell no.
Who would Ryu would be Miss Elizabeth? No,
Rhea will be Miss Elizabeth. Rhea will be, and again, and she's every time she's done that, she's lost. She's done it at Takeover Brooklyn, lost. She's done it at
Mania?
At WrestleMania, Triple Threat, done it, lost. She's done it at now Great American Bash, done it, lost.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Oh, yep.
I was going to ask one follow-up because Nisa, you said she was the best female wrestler in WWE. Question.
I did. I think she's the most valuable.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to ask you think she's the best in the world, but never mind. All right.
But I do. I do.
Okay. I low-key got to think so too, because I can't really think of another female wrestler just as good as her. Because we're going to talk about Fyter Fest, but low-key, this match kind of ruined the women's Fyter Fest match for me. But we'll get there and we'll talk about it.
All right. Well, we'll get into it right now. We'll talk about Fyter Fest. We opened the show. I don't think we actually have a picture of this, but we opened the show with MJF and Wardlow taking on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. MJF saying the reason I'm on this card is because there's a ratings war, and when you need a big gun, you call in me. I thought there was a lot of very subtle shots that were the most subtle they could be that AEW's ever done. We'll get to the Taz thing a little later, but I think these are the jabs you kind of have. If you're going to take jabs, it's those kind of jabs, not like, here's a throne that basically has Triple H on it. Now I'm going to smash it. Anyway, I thought the opening match was very good. Like I said, I'm all in on Wardlow. I think he's really, really good. I'm going to be very excited when they eventually have the MJF Wardlow feud. And once again, I love that we're saving MJF Cody for like 3 years down the line, which is where it seems like we're going to come back to it. But what do you guys think of this opening match?
I thought it was good, but the whole jab at the ratings war and everything, I just think, like, if you're trying to stand as your own company, there's no need to do it. It's one of the things that bothered me with TNA when they would consistently do it. It's like, you want to make yourself seem better than this other show or this other company, yet you consistently reference them and you do a good job of pulling in a lot of their talent. Not saying that AEW has, but this is the first step, mentioning the competition consistently. You didn't need to do it. Like, you're on your own and you're opening up with a hot match with young talent that could have just, impressed everyone on its own. That said, I like the match and I thought the finish was really good, especially with the timing was perfect with how
the ring
MJF had the Dynamite Diamond ring. And then when he was hit from behind, just him hitting Wardlow, you couldn't have planned that any perfect because he wasn't like, it didn't look like a punch. It looked like he was hit from behind and his hand just happened to hit him in the face. Like, that was perfect. And that leading to the end of the match, I think that was really good.
As this all started off, like, when they came in, like, showing like the ring area and everything like that, showing like it looks like a beach party or whatever with the Jaguar cheerleaders there, I was watching like, holy shit, this is like WCW. Like, it just gave me like all the vibes. I was just like with the Nitro girls almost. I was like, gosh damn, all right, this is where we're at. And then when the match like started and everything like that, I low-key did like that MJF promo because like someone who's like wasn't there for everything, he kind of told you the story of this feud and then kind of led up to it, which I was like, all right, I'm liking this promo. I like how you like bringing this in. And low-key, that was one of the best things I like about this, like some of the long-form storytelling that they're doing, because I remember when MJF won that ring, and I was like, this is a dumbass thing. Like, why do they keep hyping up this ring and keep going for value and whatnot? But it's become like Triple H's sledgehammer in a way. Like, he's always going to be like pulling out that ring in a way. So in a way, it's like helping like build his character. So I'm loving what they're doing with that. And then this match, like, fuck, I have to give it all props because, like, one, to see like the ring work that they were doing here and some of the moments they were pulling off were just like awesome. Like, that's that moment when Jungle Boy runs off like two people's backs and like jumps like Wardlow and everything like that. And then there's all these moments where Wardlow's like putting off some real strong power moves. And Jimmy, to the point you brought up, like that awesome point where MJF like punches Wardlow because Luchasaurus does a kick on him and everything like that. Again, building up that feud for later. I gotta say, I really like this match a lot. I love the storytelling going on. It got Jungle Boy over in a big way, and then I love the fact that like now the time has passed. Like MJF brought up like Jungle Boy's dad because we know he's the son of like Luke Perry or whatever. It was like y'all spending your daddy's money, so it's like gave him enough time to grieve, but now you can bring in these elements in a way in a respectful manner. And so like all in all, like I'm loving the growth that's happening. I like the match a lot. It was really dope. There was like one thing that kind of Chris Jericho on commentary. Chris Jericho political views, fuck that shit for later. But him on commentary though, he did a good fucking job. Like it was entertaining to watch. Bringing up Godzilla and Mothra and all this stuff throughout the match, I thought it was really entertaining. He made it more engaging.
Neeson, what say you?
Yeah.
All right, we can move on. No, that's fine. We can move on. We can move on here. Up next for the AEW Women's World Championship, we had Penelope Ford taking on Hikaru Shida. I really enjoyed this match. I did watch AEW live, so I had not seen NXT yet. I think this match was one of the better matches on the card, in my opinion. I thought Penelope Ford had a very good showing, but Hikaru Shida looked great, and we're just going to continue on that Hikaru Shida train for a little while. Yeah, I liked it. Oh, I also loved Kip Sabian getting kicked out immediately. I thought that was great. Just get him out of here. I mean, I know he came back a little later, but I liked it. I thought Penelope looked really great too in the ring. It was good stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely say this is probably Penelope's best match in AEW thus far. I'm really glad that, she had the spotlight, and especially with it being a title match on one of the bigger shows that's not a pay-per-view. And yes, I just think she really looked good, but, Shida remaining as champion is where everyone knew this was going to go anyway, and I'm still glad she's champion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I don't want to compare it to, of course, the best in the world, Sasha Banks and Io Shirai match, but I do want to say that it made me look at Penelope like, all right, because at first I wasn't really a fan, but I'm like, all right, man, but I already knew what Kushida could do. Like, she's amazing. She is literally one of the best that is in the world as well. But it was a good match. I thought it was great. Now I just want to see where we go next with I think they have a lot of rebuilding to do within the AEW women's division, and to really make it as strong as they touted it to be. And so shout out Tout. And and so I just hope that they're able to do that. That's what I'm looking for.
I feel kind of bad. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Like, to be honest, like, I wanted to like this match a lot because, again, I like the building they're doing Penelope before and, like, leading into this. I love Sheet and all the stuff that she's doing and everything like that. I think she's, like, really dope, especially, like, her personality, her character and everything. But this match didn't, like, really click for me because there was a bunch of times where I was, like, it felt kind of awkward and clunky. Like, again, they didn't have that much chemistry at times and whatnot. Like, I like the storytelling they were doing in the match. But, again, it felt like a little bit, like, clunky, like, almost, like, I won't be disrespectful, almost like green at times, because again, it seemed like their chemistry was like always there. However, again, I like the finish of the match. I like Kip coming out, getting hit with the kendo stick and everything like that. And then Sheeta like kind of punking him and everything like that. I like the ending of it again, where they have like do their finishers like multiple times. So like it got them over, it got Sheeta over, it got Penelope over because now Penelope is like seen as a stronger threat, as a stronger female wrestler to like for this feud to continue or for it to go somewhere else. But again, like I'm looking to see where like this goes like later on. But honestly, the match is okay for me. Like I was expecting a little bit more.
Do we want to talk about the next match or should we just skip it? It's Cody versus Jake Hager. This match did absolutely nothing for me at all. Jake Hager barely trying to wear wrestling gear. This match was not memorable at all to me. I remember nothing about it except for Hager punching the referee at the end and everybody like going crazy because he punched the referee. I don't know if anybody has anything positive to say about this match. I would love to hear it, but
You said positive?
Yes. Or negative. I don't care. What speak your truth.
I do. This is going to be hard to say. Watching that Cody match made me feel like Cody Rhodes is playing wrestler.
Ooh.
And he has been playing wrestler for quite some time. And I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, and it just feels like he's trying to be this other person. Like it feels like he's trying to be Cody instead of being Cody, if that makes any sense. And watching that match was the prime example of two people playing wrestler. And I think that's why it did not work. It wasn't, and it doesn't help with him having on, like, the whole Arn Anderson thing doesn't work for me. The whole, I don't know, man. I feel like he should be a heel. Like, could he, maybe that's it. Like, he just has this whole arrogance and energy as a heel. Like, he's coming out. He's like just the way the pompous look, the whole thing just screams, I'm not supposed to like this.
Well, I mean, there are little parts of Cody's run here in AEW that it does seem like that's where we're headed. We're kind of headed to him being a heel. Now, we don't know what the turning point will be, but he does do a lot of things that, you know, and I don't want to bring up Hogan, but, you know, a lot of stuff Hogan did offensively was very heelish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like everything he did, it was like, that guy's an asshole in the ring and out of the ring. But I think we're getting some of that with Cody. And I mean, eventually we will see the turn. Now, I don't know what that entails, but I did see at the end of this show, Hangman Page drinking beer with FTR.
Yes.
So maybe we could get some of that going on here in a little bit. Anyway, sorry, not to cut you off, but I do see the heelish nature of Cody, so I could see it rearing its ugly head and maybe turning on his friends in the Elite, if he's even in the Elite anymore.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's it. That's what I was like, I don't know, man. Watching that, I got this weird, like, disconnected feeling of I'm watching just two guys, like, literally playing a character. And that's not what, you know, like, you could look at, and I'll keep meaning to bring this up, you could look at Sasha Banks and yes, I do. I keep meaning to bring this up. You can look at Sasha Banks, you can look at TV Knox, and you can be like, oh, that's them on and off camera. Like,
right.
You no matter if you're like, oh, no, like, I met them, they're not. But, like, you could look at it and say, like, oh, that's them. Like, when I see Cody, I'm like, like, it looks like you probably just, like, read you know, you had a business meeting and then just like, oh yeah, I gotta go wrestle, let me act like a wrestler. Yeah, that's all. Sorry
All good.
No, it's valid points.
Anybody else have anything to say about this match, or shall we just move it along?
I'm fine with moving on.
Okay, up next we had I don't know why they are on Wikipedia announced as the Inner Circle, Proud and Powerful, aka the worst theme music in all of wrestling, taking on the Private Party with new pretty good music. I was shocked. I messaged the group. I went, they have new theme music and it's not terrible.
Yeah, I think it debuted when Mark Quinn came out and had that match against Cody for the TNT Championship.
Oh, did it?
I think so. Because I was like, wait, what's this?
It's good, though. I think it's better, and it kind of has a little... I think that's another team that I've seen some heelish kind of tendencies from, which fingers crossed on that. But I thought this match was fine. It wasn't the best tag team match that we saw on this show or even in the week. But it was fine. Private Party gets the win. They're going to move on next week to face Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. Spoiler for the match we're going to talk about next. But what do you guys think of this match?
I think it was just an average tag team match. I don't know. With these two teams, I kind of expected more, but for whatever reason, we just didn't get it. For it being on Fyter Fest, it seemed kind of like low key as far as a high end tag match. So I'm not sure what happened, but not saying it was a bad match, but I just expected more.
Right. Anybody else?
Okay, let's talk about the music first. Okay, look, man. You having shots.
I mean, it's better than just saying it's a private party over and over again.
You redid a song that was made 10 years ago. At least Carmella, when she made Fabulous, basically, it was like a year within that. And then it kind of stuck with it.
Right.
Shots came out 10 years ago.
Not only that, but Private Party, you don't really see them doing shots.
Shot.
They're drinking. They're drinking what I assume is not water, but they're not doing shots.
I was gonna get to that as well. Like there's I don't one of the best wrestling theme songs out right now that a wrestler has to me is, which we'll talk about, is Bianca Belair. Because in the song, it's I'm on my own, I'm standing tall, blah blah blah. I never needed you at all. Like it's a statement that she's making in the record, and it's not talking about what she's actually doing in the ring or just whatever, but it's a statement being made. Sasha Banks says, I had a dream that I never made it. Now nothing's stopping me. I have no basis. Now I push it all away. Like it's bigger than that, right? It's a grandiose thing. It makes you feel makes the wrestler feel bigger than what they actually are or what they even may be, but it makes them feel legit. You recreated a song with not even a better, like you just recreated a song from 10 years ago with an okay beat that you probably got from a YouTube producer. Like you probably just found it, and then you probably had somebody do it on GarageBand. Look, man, I'm huge on the music thing, and that just pissed me off. When you said that, I was like, oh, man, I'm happy. And then when I seen it, I was pissed off because I'm like, you guys they're talented. We scream about how talented they are. Like they're really talented. They really have something there that really could be great. And I just feel like they just keep fumbling it every time. And I know probably a lot of people don't care about it, and you know it has them like it's gonna go over a lot of people's heads. But I love presentations of things, and I feel like you're giving me something cheap when you make something that was 10 years ago.
I mean, speaking of cheap, that's one of my biggest issues with Private Party. It's just that I probably have mentioned this on the show before, but I don't see these guys making this gimmick work because I can't buy them as guys who are always at the club in VIP.
No,
because even the vignettes early on,
no.
they're in a VIP section with no one in there, like in the VIP section or in the club. And especially early on during the pandemic when they were on Being the Elite, they were doing their own segments. Like they're supposed to be, you know, these ballers, but they're in this like rundown backyard with a really small garage, and they're doing whatever vignettes they are on BTE. And I'm not buying their gimmick at all with this. So when they come out as a Private Party, I don't buy it.
That should be the gimmick, though. You see that? Like they need to lean into we're basically a knockoff version of a Private Party. Like we're the general brand version. Like you know, like we're not Fruity Loops. We're not Fruity Loops. We're Fruity Rings. Like, but that's what it should be. That's what exactly, and you have to lean into that in a particular way. Is that they're still trying to come off as, oh, we're exclusive, and we're this, we're that, but their image isn't showing that. Like, you know, I completely agree with you, Jimmy. Completely. And that's what we've been screaming about.
Like, I agree with both of you because think about it, though, like, it's either one or the other. It's either like going to like you're the bootleg, like Private Party in a way, whereas like, you know, like you said, like your Fruity Rings, you're kind of like hers, pretending to be cool type deal. And then okay, that's a personality. That's something that might fit more with you are. Or if you really go do it, be a Private Party, act like Dipset, like Andy just said, pull up in a Bentley, act like Jules Santana and Cameron, come out and peak fur coats and shit like that, and get some shit popping off. Because to be real, when I see y'all in the ring, I'm like, you motherfuckers look lame. Like, I'm sorry, even your ring gear don't fucking sell me. I'm like, who would wear that? Like, that's the thing, though. You're over there wearing J's, but like, again, the whole gimmick just don't work. The ring gear doesn't work. The music isn't working. And it feels like, again, like I don't know what's going on in the back right now, like who as far as like diversity concerns are, but it's like you need somebody who understands like what they're trying to do in hip hop culture in a way to come advise them help build this character because they can fucking do it. And it makes me disappointed because we talked about like our tag team brackets like a few weeks ago. And the thing about it is though, they have Matt Hardy there trying to mentor them. And I'm looking like y'all could be the Hardys. Y'all could capture this generation and be that cool young tag team the kids want to be. And 10 years from now, we're talking about you ran this decade. But right now, you guys don't feel real. Kind of like what Nisa was talking about earlier, like Cody playing wrestler. It feels like you guys are doing these things, but you don't really believe it. And it's really sad because Private Party has such potential, but it's just not living to what it needs to be.
Yeah, last word on that before we move on is just that Private Party had this gimmick way before they were in AEW. They had it in the Indies. Yep. So that gimmick worked on the Indies, but now that you're on this grander stage, you have to do better with the presentation if you want to make this gimmick work for a larger audience. And it's for me, it's not working.
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed it a couple of times on the show before where they should either go the fake it till you make it route where we see them fake it so much that nobody believes in them. Like they get that Bentley, but it gets repossessed at the show or something because they can't hold on to it. Or you go the complete opposite way where I think I said the idea of they're dressed in all white, like they're going to a white party, but they're going to wrestle, and as soon as a shoe gets scuffed, they go, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Or they become tag champs and they are supposed to wrestle somebody for the titles, and they go, oh, we're invited to this amazing party. We can't be there, but we paid to have another tag team be there. They could do shit like that. I think like heelish. They need to be heels straight up.
Yeah.
They're just not selling it. They have the potential. The gimmick, that's not it. The gimmick is not it. That's for sure. So let's move on to the main event. Kenny Omega and Adam Page taking on the Best Friends. Chuck Taylor tweeted a while ago, I can't wait to drive up to the arena in my Honda Civic. And when I saw a Honda, I don't know what kind of Honda it was, pull up.
Sue
Sue
making an appearance.
Sue, Trent's mom, driving the Best Friends to the arena. The first thought I had, but after I died of laughter, was they need to put the belts on these guys right now because this is the funniest, most Best Friends entrance that I've ever seen. The match itself was very good. There were a couple of times where I was like, they're going to win it. They're going to win. This is going to happen. That awful waffle that Chuck Taylor hit on Kenny Omega was the stiffest thing I've ever seen. Well, I'm sorry, one of the stiffest things I've ever seen. And I can't believe Kenny Omega is still walking around because I was like, that's it for him, like straight up. It looked very bad. But this match, great. Omega and Hangman retain. I don't know if that was the right move, but it looks like we're doing a little further storytelling because after the match, FTR came out, saluted them with some beers. Yes, it was the best. Brought his mom out. And Kenny pours out the beer, and Hangman seems pretty upset about it. So what did you guys think of this main event for the tag titles here?
First off, you could have FTR coming in their truck. You could have Britt Baker coming up in her Rolls Royce, but nothing from here on out will ever top Sue driving the Best Friends in a minivan. That is by far the best use of any vehicle in AEW history. This match was great, but the one thing that really ruined it for me, which happens a lot, is JR's commentary. Like, JR is known as one of the greats, and he is, or maybe he was. One of the things that bugs me is when your job as a color commentator or play-by-play is to make your product look good and tell the story of the characters in the ring. So one of my biggest problems with this is that JR kind of looks beyond that, and he's like analyzing the tag rules. So now when he mentions the referee has a 10 count, oh, now she's allowing Kenny to just stay in there. So like I'm not really paying attention to the story or the match as much as I am paying attention to Kenny's not obeying the 10 count for double teams. And now that's all my main focus is. Now I realize not everyone may not be that way, but it just bugs me where his commentary is more of a distraction as it is beneficial to whatever is happening in the ring. And he does this a lot with any matches. Like when I mentioned on the show before, like he'll ask Excalibur why this is, and then he'll laugh. He's like, why are you telling me this? It's like, well, you asked, and this is the storyline explanation for it, yet you're ridiculing him for telling you the answer to the question that you asked yourself. And this happens a lot with JR, and it happened a lot during this match. So to have this match be as good as I thought it was, then be distracted by JR, I feel like there's a real big disconnect that may not be happening with just me. It is probably happening with a lot of other people.
Low key, like we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about like JR kind of being past his prime in a way, and maybe shouldn't be being there, and maybe shouldn't again maybe be safe for like special occasions or whatnot. Because Jimmy, I agree with everything you're saying. Because there's a couple times where I'm like, that sounds racist, JR, or that sounds sexist, JR. Like I think we're about to get shut down. But the thing about it is, though, I was listening to like one of my favorite podcasts, shout out Sneaker Box Podcast, and they were talking about just talking general conversation. One was like, "Oh yeah, I was listening to the TV, and I heard JR's voice, and then I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, AEW, and I started checking it out, and then that's what I remember. Like that's the exact reason why they have him there, just because that voice is just so iconic. It's another form of marketing in a way. It just kind of pulls people in. But no, I totally agree with you. Like I kind of feel like they should limit him there because again, he kind of takes away from it, and again, kind of like the King when he was with WWE. He's just saying shit that doesn't fly like in this modern age right now.
All right. Are we good?
Oh, did we not talk about the match?
I mean, I did. If you got anything to say about this tag match, say it now or we will move on.
I think it's clear that we're moving toward FTR and Hangman and Kenny probably taking the belts off of them and then going to the Bucks. It's just I wish the Best Friends would have actually had a tag run with the belt with the titles before FTR comes in. Just because they're gonna create so much gravity around themselves. Of course, Revival being a Revival, now being FTR, coming out finally to be, they're going to headline some pay-per-view. Like, this is going to be their first tag team headline title sort of thing that they've been trying to push for, right? Like, because this is the two teams. It's just that's going to create so much gravity around it that the other teams are going to get lost. And I feel like with teams like Private Party, but Best Friends, really, you have Best Friends with the title doing things like having moms pull up in the caravan, and then like the door didn't like close, like so you had to like click it again, like and then like slides and close. Like you have that Orange Cassidy being with them. There's so much that could be done there, and to see them on, to have them do media would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
To have Best Friends do a media run with the titles would be amazing. So that's what I was thinking about. I thought the match was a damn good match. I didn't think it was better than Io or Sasha, but that's why they also did retain the audience during that match as well. So that's just my thoughts on the match. It was really okay. It was whatever. I thought the guys that should have won didn't win, but also I understand why they didn't win because it's a bigger story to be played here.
Right.
Shout out to Orange Cassidy.
Christian AF. Did you see that shirt?
What shirt?
The Christian AF shirt that Nick had on.
No.
It's a prayer hands, and it says Christian AF at the bottom.
Really?
It's kind of their gimmick right now. It's one of their things they're doing on BTE right now. So
yeah,
that was dope.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Like I know the bit, and I'm like, oh, you guys are really going like in on this. This is interesting.
Yeah. And I okay agree with Nisa. Like I love what they're doing with the Best Friends right now, and I'm loving what's happening with Orange Cassidy. Like Orange Cassidy on commentary, Jericho getting pissed off at him as he's just sitting there, damn near nodding off during the match and everything like that. I'm like, this shit is fucking genius. And like honestly, I feel like they play their cards right like with best friends with Orange Cassidy, especially Orange Cassidy, I'm like, dude, that motherfucker's a superstar in the making. If you just use this right and get him to that level, because what's dope, what's crazy is now Instagram people are just getting to that Pac match he's just happening and sharing that around and like memeing it and turning into all the stuff. And I'm like, this motherfucker's about to blow as long as they book this right.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, shit.
Once I heard it, I was just like, oh no, it's gonna happen again.
I thought that was me. I was like, are we getting a DJ? Am I being reverb right now?
Well, I mean, we're gonna see Pingo back in a second, but we're done with AEW Fyter Fest. Now we do know that the Brian Cage and Jon Moxley match has been pushed to in 2 weeks, not next week, but the week after next, and this will be the third night of Fyter Fest.
I thought it was a Fight for the Fallen.
Oh, Fight for the Fallen. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Fight for the Fallen. So it'll be, which is, do you think that WWE is going to counter program that again, where they go with something else against Fight for the Fallen?
I can see it happening, but also it's like you already had all these plans for the Bash, which was really late announced. It was announced very late in the game. So what could you possibly have to like counteract Fight for the Fallen at this point that you didn't already have on the Bash? So, I mean, they could. We'll see. Maybe they'll just do like NXT Roadblock or something.
I mean, there's some matches they could probably do because to be real with you, like, I don't know what EO has planned for her run or like who they're going to put her up against. But and one of my biggest regrets about somebody going to the main roster is we never started to see that Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, like feud match that they were always kind of like building in the background. So I wouldn't be surprised if they threw just like some random ass match on NXT like in a couple of weeks with two people that we really want to see go and everything like that. So I don't think it'll be like a pay-per-view per se or like, some special name, but I think we might get a badass match in that last slot for the main event on 2 weeks from now.
Right.
Yeah. And I think speaking of that, I think they really have, since WWE recently just purchased Evolve,
John,
they could have either the ton of new talent come in, and that could be a way to showcase maybe this other company during counter programming at Fight for the Fallen. What do you think about WWE Evolve, and what do you think that where they're gonna come to? What are we laughing at? I didn't see the comment.
No, I was just thinking about what if they did an invasion angle with Evolve invades NXT. I'd be like, no, please don't do this.
They'd run out of money before they get there. Shoot week.
Oh, good job, guys.
I mean, I think it's great. We've heard for a very long time, obviously Evolve and WWE have been trading talent. Basically, Evolve was mini NXT for a while. There were rumors that even as early as the deal was made, that they would be a feeder system, that Evolve would be on the WWE network. I mean, we did see the event that they did have, but I'm saying more like further, they would have their tape library. They'd run some shows for them. But I think this is great. I think this is really great for many of your NXT stars who they came through Evolve, and it doesn't just mean Evolve. This also, I believe, means Dragon Gate USA. And I think there's a third FIP, I think, is another company that Gabe owned. So I think all of those libraries are going to be included. You're going to get to see a lot of when Drew McIntyre was on the Indies, when he was tearing it up, basically what made him get rehired by WWE. You'll get to see a lot of that stuff. You'll get to see all of the Johnny Gargano stuff, which he had such a great run in Evolve. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that we're going to see, hopefully coming to the WWE network soon. We are not being paid by them. That is just how it goes.
I low-key like the move as well for like some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, while like I want WWE to get better in the way they treat the wrestlers in a couple different areas, they do treat their wrestlers fairly well. So the dope thing about a major company buying Evolve means that, like, again, there's going to be like hopefully like more money coming to those wrestlers there, more stability, like better resources. You go to the performance center, better access to doctors, like all these trickle down effects that usually happen. Because I remember like back when Disney bought Marvel Comics, people were worried about it, but the best thing about it was that they had that fucking Disney mouse money, and they just started throwing money at creators and shit like that on the side. So cats who created like Rocket Raccoon back in the 70s were now getting broken off like $200,000 checks and everything like that for their like past creations because all of a sudden the money had arrived. So on a behind the scenes tip, I'm looking forward to see how the wrestlers are going to get treated better and the more resources and things they'll have access to.
Jimmy, how do you feel about that Marvel and Disney acquisition?
I get paid, so works for me.
Make the money, Jimmy. Make that money.
All right, are we moving on to our next topic? This is kind of breaking news. Kairi Sane is apparently leaving WWE to go back to Japan to be with her husband. She made this decision in May. Now that picture was a promo picture that WWE put up on their Instagram. I think it was Thursday or Friday, and then they updated it and they removed Kairi from the picture. And that is the one that is currently on Instagram right now. So she may be there on Monday. She might not be, but it seems like, unfortunately, Kairi Sane is done with WWE. How are we all feeling about this news that we're receiving?
I mean, is she leaving because of injuries? Is it because she's not happy? Like, I haven't read any of this or heard anything.
Apparently, she's leaving because she's going back with her husband, like to meet her husband, and
she's also had some injuries too. So it could be a combo of a number of things. But the main reason given is because we're in a pandemic and she'd like to be with her husband.
Yeah.
And which I think that's important. I think that's more important than being a wrestler. It's being with your family during this time. So I'm all for it. And I champion her making that decision. I also champion WWE of not cutting ties. Like, they're really just saying, okay, like, go be with your family.
Yeah.
And they've really been doing that during this whole process. If you want to be with your people, please go be with your people. Like, and it's understand it. So, I mean, I'm kudos to her for making that decision, and hang out there and be there until this whole thing dies down, and then come back and be one of the greatest warriors that you are.
For me, I'm interested to see how it's going to play out because, like, the dirt sheets or whatever are saying that she's going to go back to Japan and probably, like, they're saying that after a year, she's going to do, like, one more year of wrestling, possibly retire, which I was like, holy shit, for real? So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out because, like, to Nisa's point, like, yeah, family's first. And, like, if you want to go be with your family, go be with your husband because she got married and kind of, like, kept on the DL a little bit. Now she gets to go on her honeymoon, spend time with him, grow their family. Fuck yeah, do that shit. That's life goals. Like, take care of business. But they're also saying that she might do, like, one more year before she retires. So I'm like, fuck, that 1 year could be glorious because she could be like going from promotion to promotion. So who knows? Because again, she's kind of like a free agent status. She could just like travel around from like like all these promotions where they have women's wrestling just kind of show up. Like I was even thinking that she could pop up and do like a quick run on AEW if she wanted to. Like I don't think she would because I think her and WWE have a really solid relationship, but they treated her well, so she wouldn't want to like be disrespectful towards them. But if the opportunity came about and she was able to do it, like see her versus Sheeta, some of the other cats they have there. So honestly, like if she is going back about to retire, I'm really looking forward to this like 1 year she has where she'll be doing like her like victory lap tour, and I'm getting to see that.
Well, they're not letting her go.
No, her contract's expiring. They said she's just not resigning.
Yeah, that's the other thing about it is she signed a 3-year, or am I thinking of Adam Cole now? I can't remember. Oh boy. So many contracts.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about her letting her go.
Like, I didn't see anything they let her go. They were just saying that she's just not going to resign. That's what they were saying on some of the 3,000s too.
So
it looks like she signed a contract in 2017, but that's really it. And people are reporting that it will be ending soon. So she signed the initial 3-year deal, and then that was it. So. We'll never know because we never do truly know. But what we do know is that we haven't seen Bianca Belair on Monday Night Raw, I think, ever. Maybe once or twice.
I think literally twice and like a few vignettes, and I think that was it.
Bianca Belair squinting, trying to see where she is on the lineup card, and apparently nowhere near it. And this is, frankly, fucking stupid. Why is I saw she was on Main Event And I guess that's cool. But also, why is she not on TV every week? She was super hyped up in NXT. She made a lot of progress in NXT. She got called up to Raw, and it looked like she was on her way, and then just dead stop. Nothing has happened. And it's absolutely 100%.
Did she, that episode of Main Event that she was on, how far back did that go? Like, was that taped recently?
I don't know, but it aired recently. It aired this week. It was this week's Main Event.
On WWE Network?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, the problem with Main Event is that it's actually like, even though it may have come out this week, it's usually like weeks to a month behind. So the match might have been recorded when she was still like a part of Raw, and then she disappeared. So I'm wondering if this is a COVID thing. I'm wondering if it's a family thing. And it's harder to believe a family thing if Montez Ford is wrestling every week on Raw or appearing every week on Raw. So it's weird. I have no idea what it could be.
I punched my hand into my other hand so hard I made it bleed.
Oh damn!
Hard way.
That's how upset I am about it.
Hard way.
We got some color on tonight's show.
I'm fine.
So apparently word is that they wanted to have her a part of the whole Street Profit Viking Raider thing.
Oh.
Vince thought it was too comedic for her character. So that's why they separated her from them, and she had nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to, and the plan is they really Vince is really high on her. It's just that there's nowhere else to go at the moment because Charlotte left, Becky left. Asuka now is, they knew Asuka was going to be tied up with Bayley and Sasha for the next going month until SummerSlam. So they could be saving her for a SummerSlam run, and it's just that they don't want to put her on these empty matches because unless you want her to go against Natty. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess it's fine that they're taking her off.
Don't say things like that.
My point. And so, finding I'm a big Bianca Belair fan, and I think it shows how well she was over when you had the NXT people chanting at Sasha, "You don't go here.
You don't go here."
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And so I think she needs to move, like, instead of being at Raw, move her to SmackDown where she can go against Lacey Evans, where she can go against a Sasha and Bayley. Right? Yeah. Like, besides those people, like, there's no real people that they built up on the female roster. You don't want her caught in the Lana thing. You don't want her caught in the Liv thing. You don't want her caught in any of those things that could be forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with her being off, but I would love it if they, while this time she was off, that they did vignettes or something to
anything.
Yeah, something
have
to
her on commentary.
Build her character at the same time.
Have her on commentary during women's matches, just running down.
Have her on commentary, man. That'd be fresh. Like, that'd be a fresh voice to have her on have her do something what Brent Baker does, of like how she did the I'm a doctor or whatever. Like,
yes.
And she does a bunch of other things. Like, so just find something that she really does and kind of hone in on that and have her do her own segment.
Yeah. No, I agree, because like she's an amazing talent, to be honest with you. Like when she came up, I was happy for her because, like, they say when you go from like NXT to Raw, you get that major bump in money and all these great things. So I'm like, cool, career advancement, like excellence, fuck yeah, do this shit. But on another level, though, I didn't like it because I felt like she was caught up too soon, not because of her ability level, because I felt like her story wasn't finished being told. Because she's such a good heel in NXT, she has such a good feuding build going with like EO. So I always want to see her get that NXT title and have a couple of runs at that and everything. But yeah, like right now, when she went to like Raw, it just felt like the wrong move because like when she showed up there with her husband, it's like, this is cool, but you guys have totally two different characters. Bianca, you're killing it as a heel right now, being a total badass, while your husband is a total babyface and it's hilarious as hell. But you guys being together, like, it just doesn't mesh well. And the thing about this, with you guys, everything being filmed in the Performance Center and you're not being on the road right now, it's like, yeah, you can be on another show because you guys are still together. So it doesn't matter. So you should be on another show. So I agree. She needs to go like somewhere else, like maybe a SmackDown. I don't know if there's a way possible to put her back on NXT. I don't think there is. But the thing about this is she does need to go let her like have her own space so she can be her own character and like kind of run with it and do her own thing.
On the opposite side of that, Shayna Baszler, it came out recently that Becky apparently wanted to. There they are discussing why we're not on major television. They're trying to figure it out. Nobody knows. Shayna Baszler was apparently Becky wanted to lose to Shayna, wanted to lose the championship to her. Vince said no. And we haven't seen, I can't even remember the last time we saw Shayna on television, but he apparently has never conceptually grasped the style of an MMA fighter, which is very funny because Brock Lesnar
Or Ronda.
It's just very strange. I don't get it. And I was very critical of Shayna Baszler, like the back half of her NXT Women's Championship run. I just thought it was boring. I just thought she needed to move on. But I don't think she deserves to just be shot into the Phantom Zone here. But what do you guys think of this? What do you think of Becky saying, I want to lose the belt to Shayna, and them saying no? And then what do you think of Shayna's situation as well?
I mean, for me, the writing on the wall was when they didn't just have Shayna win the Women's Royal Rumble match, because she was already going to go face Becky for the Raw Women's title. Charlotte could have fought whoever she wanted, regardless of winning the Royal Rumble. So she could have fought Rhea anyway. So to have Shayna not win the Royal Rumble, then not have her win at WrestleMania, it's like, what are you doing with her? So, like, what's happening with her right now? And it's obviously not a COVID thing, because we're still seeing Jessamine and Marina in the audience for every show, and we see Mia in the ring. And for those who don't know, Jessamine and Mia and Shayna are all roommates. So it's like, okay, it's not a COVID thing, so why aren't you doing anything with her, especially at a time when the amount of talent that's available right now is lower than usual, and you could use this time to build someone up?
Yeah. Sorry, I was laughing, Jimmy. I love how you know that. Like, who rooms with who? That's some deep information right there, Jimmy. Like, like her name's on the lease. She plays the water bill. She didn't watch this. She said she got real mad on Thursday. But like, low key though, like, I remember when I first Mondays. I remember when I first saw her, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that thug?" And then the more I watched, it's like, "Damn, that thug can fucking go." And low key, like, I love Shayna Baszler. I think she's dope as hell. Like, of all the people who come over from like MMA, I feel like she's really embraced the aspect of being a wrestler, from the characters to the promo to like all the shit she's doing. And so I remember she had that Elimination Chamber match, and she like eliminated everybody. They were pushing her strong. And so like that whole thing of her Becky losing to her, I was like, that's a smart move. It kind of keeps that story going, because like, especially because they were building Becky at the time, it's being a little bit extra cocky. Like, remember she had her like jacket with her own name on there, and all the like the victories she had won over people. Like, she was getting to like that Rocky 2 moment where like Rocky got kind of like, Rocky 3. Rocky got a little bit cocky and like lost 100, wasn't ready for Mr. T. So Mr. T put that ass whooping on him real quick. And so like same thing here. I was waiting for Shayna Baszler to like put that ass whooping on him real quick, but it didn't happen. I feel like it's kind of a waste of talent, because I feel Shayna Baszler's like, she's really dope. She's that great heel. And I feel like, again, it's kind of like to Bianca Belair's point, someone they should be utilizing, but they're not.
And they're saying that a lot of this, if you notice, it was around the time that Heyman was let go of his position. Heyman was reportedly very high on Shayna, which would make a lot of sense, because that Elimination Chamber situation was basically what I think he pitched for. Who did he pitch that for? CM Punk?
CM Punk.
Yeah. He pitched that.
Yeah. The Extreme Elimination Chamber was supposed to have Big Show eliminated first, so that way people were going to know that no matter who won, there was going to be a new ECW champion.
And then Punk would run through everybody else, right? Was that what they were? Yeah,
Something similar, yeah.
Something very similar to that. But this decision was made before Heyman was gone, so Vince not a fan.
Okay. I get Shayna's really, really good. The problem with Shayna is that she has fallen into the post-pandemic world of no wrestling crowds reacting, so we could use it as an excuse to say we don't get it and toss it by the wayside. Now, Vince has never really been a fan of the MMA style. You say Brock Lesnar, but he's never had an MMA style in the ring. He's never been a fan of that. And it's really because it's not big enough. It's not grandiose. It's not, you can't barely see the moves from the top of the Raptors in the 300 section in an arena, unless you're looking at a screen, right? That's why he likes big theatrical things and all these other things. So unfortunately, she just fell in at the wrong time. Last time we seen her on TV was May. Do I think that's right? Absolutely not. I think that is terrible because this is why people should stay in NXT. People, especially this year, it just sucked that this was the plan, right? This was the plan from November for Shayna to go to Mania and, possibly win the title, and then Becky having to redeem herself, whatever, through the year. But who knew that COVID was going to hit? Who knew that Becky was going to get pregnant? Who knew that all these things were kind of going to lead to this different scenario now, which I do think that they're missing the ball on Shayna is that if they want to keep her on the Raw and SmackDown brand, they should be doing more cinematic matches. Because one thing with the MMA style, you could do some great cinematic matches with that. You should do some great close-up matches. The greatest wrestling match ever, which I think was more so a title of a match more than like actual proclaimed as the greatest match ever. It had all the elements as the greatest match ever. That's something you could do with Shayna. Those cut-in shots with when Edge was wearing a GoPro and like those in-ring shots of like the camera stuff. That's something that Shayna will actually flourish in. That's something now you can introduce 3 of the 4 horsewomen in. So I feel like they are missing something that they could take advantage of now. But also we're talking about Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn and and Michael Hayes and even Bruce Pritchard. And so you do and so you have these like, okay, well, let's just stick with what we already know and take little bit of chances on things. What I do want to say is that yes, Heyman is still signed. This is the perfect time for Heyman to start a new stable. And I know me and Pingo talked about it a couple of weeks ago, the new Dangerous Alliance. Like, this is that time we could have a Dangerous Alliance with people that Vince may not like on the mic. But the work rate may kill, right? Like, this is that time of having a Shayna Baszler, Donovan Dijakovic, and maybe 1 or 2 other people. Yeah, where Donovan Dijakovic went, nobody knows where he went. Yeah. But maybe you could have. This is what it happens when you have Paul Heyman actually having somebody on the mic. You see what it's done for MVP, right? Like MVP on the mic has done wonders for a Bobby Lashley, which hopefully it does wonders for a Shelton Benjamin, which also on the flip side has done wonders for Apollo Crews and a Ricky. Shout out Ricochet special, the 365 special. That's on. I swear they don't pay us. Network doesn't pay us.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But it's just so you say all those things and say, man, yeah, it sucks that Baszler is basically catching the raft, catching bricks. As New York, shout out to my New York people would say. But at the same time, man, it's so much opportunity that is there for Baszler. I think the people just need to watch for it, man. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right. Any final words?
I low key like that idea of like, it's like honestly, like I feel like Paul Heyman's kind of wasted. Like I get you don't want him to run the show, that's cool, but motherfucker's dope on a mic and only see him come out for Brock Lesnar. Like to this day, people still say Paul Heyman guy, Paul Heyman girl, or whatever. Like I like Deese's point. Have him run a stable with like Dr. Conish, Shayna Blazer, maybe some other people over there. Help them get over a little bit. That shit could be badass. It could just be all a rough crew, like neck group of motherfuckers who will beat like that, beat people up and everything like that. I think that could be like really dope, and it would give them something to do. Because be real, I had forgotten that Donna Kojic that went up. I was like, oh shit, what happened to him? So people are starting to disappear.
I think you also just you mentioned the word forgotten. I think you take the tag team. You take that tag team, repackage them, and put them in the Dangerous Alliance, and I think that might be interesting without that piece of shit. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of possibilities for a new Dangerous Alliance, and I think that would be great. Let's get on out of here because we just hit an hour 30, and that's a lot longer than we usually go for, but we got a lot to say. So, Johnny, do you have anything to plug before we get on out of here?
Not really. Just want to say shout out. Thanks to everybody who gave to the charity drive for NWC Legal Defense Fund, the Black Man's Guide giveaway. So thank you. We raised over like $1,100. Super dope. Gave that to him the other day. So just thank you to everybody about that. And keep out for Comic-Con at home. I'll be participating in that. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. It's a great chance to experience Comic-Con from the safety of your house. So keep out for that. We'll come with more information with that soon.
Awesome. Jimmy, what do you got?
First, Headlock Comic is working on their stretch goals, and they just introduced the concept art for the Agent Loca comic, which is going to feature Taya Valkyrie in her own comic as a secret agent. So head over to @Headlock Comic on Twitter and Instagram. And secondly, part 2 of our interview with Thunder Rosa on Masks, Mats, and Mayhem is coming up on Tuesday. And you can find that on YouTube on the Lucha Central Podcast Network.
Neeson, what do you got?
In a session, guys. Just follow it. We're done with our at-home season, but we start our real episodes start in 3 weeks. So we're out here shooting, and we're out here making things happen in the middle of a pandemic. It's been fun. That's a lot. That's all I can say about that. And yeah, man, that's it. Just follow everybody. Follow everybody's stuff, man. Like, you got time. Do it. Follow everybody. And support everybody. And Pingle Tag Team Wrestling podcast, Tornado Tag podcast.
Tornado Tag Radio, yeah.
Tornado Tag podcast. Follow that. Listen to that. His gaming stuff. Follow that. Listen to that. It's crazy. Comic books, movies. I'm still waiting on a phone call about the short film, Jimmy. My phone's open. We're in a pandemic. I'm not going anywhere.
We're not shooting anything either, so.
But yeah, that's all. Just and at the end of the day, yes, justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for a lot of people, and I will continue screaming that on my social media feeds.
As we all should.
That's it.
You already did my plugs. You did my plugs. Thank you. All right. Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News. Instagram.com/THS.Wrestling. On YouTube, just search for that hashtag show. I will follow JP Thrice. Thank you. I will say, Ian, my Instagram is all dogs right now. So that's all I've been posting. I hope you enjoy dogs, because that's all that's there right now. Anyway, most importantly, guys, that hashtagshow.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, Tegan. Bye. Bye, Tegan. Bye.